Micro Four Thirds cameras have dramatically improved in quality and reliability since their introduction several years ago. The Panasonic GH2 and GH3 were sleeper hits, in use by many for years and lauded for their incredible video capabilities. With the launch of the GH4, Panasonic was able to get my attention and give me something I wasn't expecting: the best compact video camera on the market. Though the GH4 is both a still camera and a video camera, this review will focus on the video capabilities of this camera mainly. This is a video camera first, and a still shooter camera a distant second. The Panasonic GH4 is small, but it is by no means too small or toy-like, a problem some mirrorless cameras struggle with. The grip on the camera feels robust and solid, comparable to many full-size DSLRs on the market. Though some complain that there are not enough buttons on the GH4, and that most of the functionality is controlled via digital menus, I disagree. There are dedicated buttons for ISO, white balance, recording, adjusting manual or autofocus, the display, and 5 function buttons that can be customized to whatever you want. Yes, there are some features that are locked behind the menu, such as adjusting frame rate and video size, but they aren't options a shooter would typically be grabbing for regularly. The important options are available at all times, right near a fingertip or thumb. Gratefully, the GH4 designers recognize that a true flip-out screen is vastly superior to the tilt screen popularized by Sony. The tilt screen is marginally more useful than not having a moving rear monitor at all, as it only allows you to vertically adjust the field of view. The GH4's flip-out screen allows for vertical and horizontal field of view change, meaning you can be standing to the side of or in front of the camera and still have access to view what the camera is seeing. If you have ever photographed architecture or attempted to shoot video in a confined space, there are few things more gratifying than being able to stand to the side of your camera and manage the controls instead of having to attempt to cram your head behind the camera at an uncomfortable angle. From a sheer firepower perspective, there are no cameras on the market at this sub $10,000 price point that can match what the GH4 is capable of. Though many cameras are capable of 4K capture, nearly all of them are exorbitantly priced or require clean HDMI out in order to get that great footage. Or both. The GH4 is the only camera that can write 4K directly to an SD card that is below $2,000 in price, besides the GoPro Hero 4 and the impending Samsung NX1. It is the only camera that is capable of producing 4K video and also 96 frames per second at 1080p at that price point, and it also is backed by a large lens lineup. Basically, the camera's design gave us just as much as we needed without compromising nearly anything. When you look at the actual quality of footage produced by the GH4, it's awe-inspiring. Comparing it to what used to be flagship indie filmmaking cameras like the 5D Mark III is night and day. Lines are crisper, images are sharper, colors are better defined, and overall, the video just looks spectacular. What we see out of the GH4 is akin to what we see on television or in theaters. The quality is simply unprecedented, and we get it straight to SD card, allowing shooters to maintain preposterously small shooting rigs. Smaller is most certainly better for filmmakers who are no doubt used to lugging hundreds of pounds of gear with them wherever they go. The GH4's compactness is an absolute godsend. Earlier I said that the camera's design gives us almost everything we need, and there are a few places where it falters. Firstly, though it does have a built-in intervalometer, the time-lapsing abilities of the camera are subpar. In low-light situations, the camera allows a slight green-magenta color shift every few frames, causing the footage to look jumpy and inconsistent. We notice this especially if we open the footage in Lightroom. From a still shooter perspective, as I mentioned briefly earlier, it's not the best camera. If you buy the GH4 expecting a still shooter experience that will rival the cameras such as a Nikon D800 or a 5D Mark III, you will be disappointed. While the EVF is amazing and looks like real life, something I never thought would happen, and the burst rate is great, the actual quality of the final still is only good, not great. The dynamic range of the sensor is limited to about 3 stops in either direction, with little detail being preserved in the shadows and highlights. The ISO performance in the GH4 in both stills and video is also a letdown. Though it cranks from 200 to 6400, it's not what I would really define as usable past 800 ISO. This can likely be attributed to the very small sensor. The Panasonic GH4 is so close to being an absolute object of perfection. Even with a few snags, such as ISO performance and the poor still image quality, the GH4 is priced unbelievably well for what it can bring to the video shooter. When you look at what Panasonic has crammed into the tiny body for under $2,000, you begin to wonder how the competition can sleep at night charging more than 3 times the cost for 1/3 of the features in their DSLRs and camcorders. If you look at the GH4 as strictly a video camera, it is unrivaled in its usability, quality, and price point. The camera could easily have cost 3 times as much and would still compete at that level, which says a lot about where Panasonic has strategically placed itself. For the full written review on the Panasonic GH4 as well as our final score, head over to resourcemagonline.com.